Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, Psychic Goddess Erica. I know it's been a long time since I've been able to get to the Learn the Tarot series, and today we're looking into the Devil card. This is card 15 in the Major Arcana. So let's look at the number 15 first, as far as like numerology goes, or at least how I am interpreting it, because remember, I read a little bit more intuitively. I do encourage everybody to learn like the traditional meanings of each card, because I feel like that's really important. But I kind of have my own style when it comes to reading, and I read more intuitively. So 15, the number 1 again is more about the self, first steps, new beginnings. It's kind of like that need to really look within and do some soul searching, especially in relation to what I feel is connected to the Devil Tarot card, as well as it being followed by the number 5, which is more about changes and sometimes obstacles, sometimes challenges, which also can relate to the energy of the Devil Tarot card. If you add up 1 and 5, that breaks down into a 6 as well in numerology. So the number 6 is about, it can be about like harmony and close relationships, but it could also be about, because everything has a light side and a shadow side, so it could also be about the shadow side, which is more about the ego or like material matters, and maybe worrying too much about the material things, for example money or appearance, or like things being a bit more superficial as far as the shadow side goes. So it also incorporates choices, decisions, balance, and things of that nature, different pathways you can take, different roads you can take, because the number 6 is about, it's made up of the number 2 and 3, depending upon how you do the math, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 times 3 is a 6. And then the number 3 is about manifestation, things like that. So you can keep breaking it down more and more and more and get more and more messages out of the numerology. But to keep it simplified, it's about the shadow side and the light side of the self and looking into that. And in particular, when it comes to the Devil Tarot card, coming into the energy of the ego, overindulgence, temptations, addictions, obsessions. I think I already said immediate gratification, material matters, like carnal instincts, animalistic instincts, things like that. So, and funny enough, my shirt right now says feeling good. So in connecting that to the message of the Devil Tarot card, it's like wanting what feels good right now in this moment, regardless of circumstance or possible cause and effect or possible repercussions. At least in the case of connecting this to the tarot card that we're talking about right now. So it can also be about, I have on cinematic mode, so it's kind of hard for me to get in focus sometimes. So it can also be about bondage to something, or feeling trapped or feeling stuck. And that can also be why it can sometimes relate to things like or obsession or addiction, or being trapped in an unhealthy relationship due to, trauma bonds. And when I say trauma bonds, I'm speaking more so in the spiritual sense, not necessarily how it's used in like psychology, even though it can be that for some people. But I'm thinking more in terms of like the spiritual sense of like your unhealed wounds and their unhealed wounds kind of mirror each other, and maybe not in the exact circumstance, but you're attracted to each other because of those unhealed wounds. So it creates a unhealthy duo dynamic, kind of a tango dance. It could be stuck in your own unhealthy ways. It could be, and the Devil card sounds really scary, and people tend to kind of put the blame on some sort of external entity, when at times like, well, the devil made me do it, or this or that or this or that. But at the end of the day, you have a choice. And if you don't work on your the things that are going unhealed, then it's kind of like your own inner demons that are coming out with this message, in my opinion. So depending upon whether it's upright or reversed, I don't put too much weight on reversals, as you guys may know, but if it is like upright, you may be battling some of the themes that I just mentioned, like temptation, addiction, immediate gratification, worrying too much, being overly fearful, obsessive, wanting to do something right now because it feels good right now, but you're not thinking about the long-term effects. Things like that. It's kind of like if you are diabetic, for example, and you eat ice cream and it may feel great and taste amazing in that moment, feels good in that moment, but ultimately it could be bad for your health. That's kind of the vibe like the devil card can represent, and apply that to any area that you feel like you can. The devil card comes up a lot for me because I do ruminate. I just try to channel that, not try, let's be selective of words are spells. I channel that into something more positive when I catch myself, but I do ruminate. So if you are like that too, that comes up a lot, meaning like I'm in my head overthinking, overanalyzing, getting fearful, and it could be like running away with the whole scenario that's not needed, not necessary, like things being planted in my mind that are not healthy, not good, and can if not checked can cause to make some poor choices. But luckily I'm good at checking it now. So that's an example. This could also represent some sort of unhealthy relationship, or very imbalanced connection. It could even represent yeah, let's just keep it at, I don't want to use certain words because this is going to go on YouTube. So let's keep it at any unhealthy relationship that can sometimes become dangerous as well because of that bondage feeling, that feeling trapped energy, whether that's due to what somebody's doing or whether that's due to your own mindset. Sometimes this comes up when somebody's mental health is in jeopardy, depending upon the cards around it, depending upon what the person is asking, or if you're reading for yourself, or even if just what you're channeling, because remember, there's never one meaning for a card. Now, if it's reversed, if you choose to read reversed, how I see that often is maybe you are coming out of some of the challenging things we mentioned, and maybe you are realizing that only you can make these changes needed and necessary, even if it's you asking for help from someone. Maybe you are releasing or taking your power back and taking a hold back from these ego-driven scenarios, or addictions or obsessions or unhealthy behaviors or patterns or ways of doing things or relationships or dynamics, things like that. So that's how I view it in summary. I mean, like I said, I'm not necessarily going to break down all of the symbolism because I'm reading just more intuitively, but and it's good to to learn the like more traditional symbolism because I think that's important. But just looking at this too, a lot of the time, I'm not necessarily speaking of it being reversed right now, but even looking at this, some of the things that stand out are the fact that these are, sorry, I'm still trying to get into focus. Sorry about that. These are the people from the Lovers card too. So some people will also refer to this as Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, that have now been tempted by the devil, etc., etc. But a lot of the time this can also come across when like people are involved in like maybe a physical connection with someone, sexual connection with someone. Again, it's more that carnal instinct, which doesn't always mean it's a horrible thing, because sometimes this can even come across as just like, hey, you're attracted to someone and they're attracted to you. Maybe there's this sexual chemistry there between you and someone. It's just about fulfilling that carnal instinct sometimes. In some cases, it doesn't always have to be terrible. Again, it depends upon the other cards around it. You know, it could just be a sexy night or something, for example, just depending upon the other cards around it. But if the other cards around it, or even if what you're just feeling intuitively does not feel like it's just, you know, just a vibe, and maybe it feels like something more unhealthy going on, then you got to listen to your intuition as far as that goes. But that's pretty much what I have for the Devil card right now. As far as different themes, comment below your connection to the Devil card, or things that you've learned or experienced or feel like are important about it, that you have noticed as far as your own personal connection to it, or things that you have seen. Like this video, subscribe to my channel. If you choose to, you could always tip by buying me a coffee for being your teacher in this. The information on where you can go to do that is down below in the description. And if you want to book a personal reading with me, that information is down below in the description box as well. But basically it's on my website. And I will talk to you guys another time. Bye.